Yeah, there's a gentleman back by the name of David Bowen. Dave Bowen sold for me back when I was worth really when we built an army of salespeople. Remember that, Dave?
Oh, yes.
We moved in the top 10 in the early 79 and 81 when we started in that building in 77. By 1981, we were in the top 10 in the city selling in volume with one office. We were ahead in 81 of a lot of your 5-office companies. We didn't realize that until my brother and I had helped MLS become computerized. Of course, we had the whole industry hating us because nobody wanted to learn what a mouse was and how to work the computers. We had a problem with a lot of people learning computers, so we went and got a thing called Boris to set up a computer in every office so they're all the same, generic, so everybody can learn the computer, everybody's on the same page. There was a lot of work to get people to understand that the old mimeograph machine and the old way of paperwork coming in every day is not needed anymore. We can turn on a computer and get it done faster, even though the things were real slow. My first computer in 1975 was so slow. In fact, as we didn't have the internet, the stuff that we have today, we had to develop every software package ourselves. It was long and painstaking, but we were 2 young guys, my brother and I. I was 26 years old when I got into business, and I said to my mom, how do I get started in this business? Where do I get listings? And she says, go out and knock on doors. You got to get them by buying one. People are selling them. The only way you can get them is knock on doors. So I knocked on 100 doors, and I came back to the office and I said, Mom, it's not working. I'm doing something wrong. And she said, well, just keep at it. I said, Mom, how do I do it? Tell me, what do I do? She says, I don't know, I never did it. You mean to send me up to a slaughter? No, that's not how you felt, really down. You didn't know what to do. So I went to a seminar one time, and it was about a month later, and I paid $100, and it was a lot of money back then, and I didn't have much money, but I did it anyhow. I spent $100, and I went to a seminar and asked, they gave me a canned presentation. Everybody says, canned presentations don't work. They gotta work. This guy paid $100. It's gotta work. What you want is the most money to get your home, least amount of problems, relatively short period of time. I'll tell you 20 reasons why you should sell your house from me. Can you sell a house without having comparisons? I have many. You don't. Who one's going to write your offer? You're going to tell them to go to your attorney and write the offer? I don't think so. Are people procrastinating? Do they procrastinate ever to buy a house? Does anyone ever procrastinate in your business? They all procrastinate. When I'm a real estate person, I got to get you off and get you buying. Well, I got really good at it. I rehearsed all these different answers, and I got to the point where I could get every listing. I went to a court case in the year 2001, and they asked me at the court hearing, how do we recognize you as an expert in real estate? No, geez, how do I answer that question? I sold my company to Merrill Lynch. I thought I was a pretty good salesman that way. I averaged, when I looked it up, I averaged 60 transactions a year, average. That's without a computer. Can you imagine if you had a computer, how many houses you could sell? Try to do all that paperwork and sort out houses. I had a secretary, when my brother's son got married, said, my dad actually, I should say, was there, but the secretary typed in later. But my dad was standing there and he says to my brother, there's 2 stories. My brother, why are you guys still working? And my brother said, we never had a chance to sit down. You always had us working. And he looked at me and says, that isn't so. And I said, well, it's this way, Dad. You gave us a list, and I got done with your list, and then my mom had a list. And then the next day was there again. It just kept going. So we were kind of in a work mode. We grew up as workers. I learned how to be a bricklayer at the time I was 16. I worked on a job with C.G. Schmidt, was the general contractor. My dad was called in to do the work, and I worked on that job. And the old man walked up to me and says, you know, your dad worked for me at one time, and now I'm working for him. He says he was an amazing man who could figure out facts and figures and wasn't afraid of any challenge that came your way. And my mother and dad kind of threw that into my brother and I, and that's why we built our company. Unfortunately, in 1981, we'd stepped into the Worth Realty building, having a lot of debt, but had a great company making a lot of money until we had the 12% usury law. Congress, we had to try to get them to change it. We had 60 days with no loans. 60 days killed all my loans that First Federal had committed to us. Our whole drawer dried up in less than 60 days of about $160,000. So if you want to talk about traumatic, we're in traumatic times now, but we're going to come back. I'm not afraid of it. It's all how you perceive it. If you want to look at it, you can tackle it. Selling homes to people has always been a challenge to me, and I always love selling a young couple their home because I can help them feel like this is a new toy, a new adventure, and it's a lot of fun. And so I have a lot of compassion in helping people buy real estate. Kind of like my dad, who had a lot of compassion in building his homes with a lot of masonry in it. The old Solomon homes, Jerry Allen, Nicholson, Schley homes, the old Robert Hoag homes that were in Whitefish Bay, when you see the little boxed white houses. Used to build them for $6,800 each house. My dad's house, I had a couple of tears in my eyes. We did let it go. It was in River Hills on Range Line D Road. They tore that house down. It cost my dad, the materials, $35,000 to build in 1950. It was an all masonry house. I have it on video, so if anybody wants to see it, it's not there anymore. My travels in the real estate business has been fun. It's going to continue. I have a great staff, and I'd like to acknowledge my staff. I have one gentleman that's been with me now since he retired from the county when he was 55 years old. His name is Ken Payne. Ken, would you stand up? Ken is 76 years old, currently carrying about 50 listings in my office. He's Mr. Dynamo, selling all the foreclosures there are that Freddie Mac and Co. have. I haven't, the whole staff is here. I got Judy Walker, would you like to stand up? And Chris Nelson, and Dave Whiskey's been with me since he was a sign kid, putting up signs with me. He's been with 27 years. My daughters are here. They both got their licenses, but my wife said, don't you dare push them into something they really don't want to do. Their compassion is where they want to be. And my younger daughter said to me when she was 12 years old that I was a workaholic, and she didn't want to become a workaholic. So I said, well, get your grades and be somebody. So that my little girl worked herself in grades and got herself scholarships to go through Marquette, graduated and got a chance at foreign exchange to go to Europe, which I got excited. And today she's in a large advertisement firm, and I'm very thrilled. That's Jackie Worth, that's my younger daughter. And my other daughter, she got married last year, and she works for Advanced Healthcare, and her son and her husband, George, is an engineer. So, I don't want to take up any more time on this. I think I've said a lot already. Some of the dates and that I could always correct them on. There's a lot of things I've done in this world.
I'll be writing about it.
Oh my gosh. Dave Bowen and I used to laugh when we were so active in the 70s that every night he and I would be working and had a place to go every night for dinner if we wanted to, because we used to go make the rounds from the Blue Lodge, the chapter, the commandery, the shrine, and then we go around again to other lodges and visit it. So we could have a meal every night of the week if we wanted to make the rounds in all the organizations we had belonged to. We belonged to too many things. And you know, you get inundated in doing and getting contacts with people. Well, when you're young, you want to build a business, so you do that. But like my daughter said, sometimes workaholic isn't always the answer. Personal life is very important.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
One story that kind of, I think what Bob said, I hope that inspires you. Here's a man and a woman, Terry Worth, who put their money where their beliefs are. Not only in that building, but they bet on the community, and they know it's short term. Sometimes government makes it worse so they can get more of what they want. I think that this is an inspiration. It should be to you. One quick story of Kitty Worth, which I didn't tell you, which I think should be noted. And that was that Kitty Worth's mother went blind at the age of 53 and died early in life, but she loved people. And while she was blind, she would take an agent out with her, not because she needed the money, but she loved to work with people and get them in the right house. Being blind, she'd go to 1 or 2 or 3 houses. And she would have them explain, the people that she was selling to explain the different rooms and the different houses. And then after all 3, she remembered every detail of those houses and helped them sell it. Because it was not only here, it was in here. And that's the inspiration and the love that you can see of dealing with people. And that's what this is all about. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Terry.